What the hell is Qigong? So Qigong is about building and mobilizing the qi. So it's the energy in the body, building and mobilizing the qi. How do we do that? My teacher, Master Lu, always says reverse movement is the way the Tao moves. So there always has to be an opposing force. You have to build the qi indirectly. You can't directly build the qi. Now, this is interesting, right? Because in order to reach up, we have to push down into the ground. In order to move forward, there has to be something propelling us back. So if we want to move this forward, we move back. If we want to move back, something has to move forward. If we want to move forward, something has to move back. So, and back and forth are, of course, relative because, you know, with a yin and yang. So without yin, there is no yang. Everything is relative, okay? So the way the movement happens in Qigong is got to be indirect. You don't want to move with your muscles. You want to keep your muscles as much as you can out of the equation until the body learns how to do that. So we have to move with the least possible amount of effort, which means that we begin to move by extension. But first we're going to start doing some joint warm-ups. So we're going to do the usual wrists. So everything is a whole body movement. So my hips are moving, my spine is creating a wave. I'm pushing down into my standing leg onto the floor in order to create this movement up, and then I'm sinking back down. So we're just loosening up first. We're going to just take a few minutes and loosen up, and then we're going to do some flowing Qigong movements today that are more about exercises than forms, really. They might, you know, relate to forms. You can call them forms. But it's more about learning how to move with less effort, expending less energy. Go the other side. So I'm just doing this until it feels good. I'm not counting, I'm just kind of moving until my body starts to open up. I want to get as much of my body moving in each movement as I possibly can. Knees. So looking at the floor, sinking down. So exhaling forward, inhaling back. So feel the weight shift in your feet. Feel how your knees go to one side and your pelvis balances it on the other side, and lengthen your spine. And try to sink low with your chest, close to your knees. The fascia around the hips, around the glutes stretch. We sit in chairs too much. Go the other way. Softly enjoy this movement. Feel the movement in your hips. Feel it. Feel it. That's enough of that. So stretch your spine long so the head goes not like this. Look at the floor. And stretch away from your butt. So try to pull your tailbone down and feel the release in your low back. You can pull your abs in a little bit, but try to not depend on that abdominal muscle. Try to release that too, and relax everything, and still drive your head toward the front of the room. So lengthening your spine, lengthening your neck. Make sure that you can move your head. Keep getting longer, and now we're going to come down and balance. And move a little bit, Move. So move your knees. Move your knees if you can. If you can't do this, you can hang onto the floor and do this. But this is so good for your knees, so healing. To not, let go of your knees. Forget that we have knees and then they don't work and they don't have any strength anymore. Coming up. There's you feel the rush of energy as the fluids are free after you. It's like a blood stop in Thai massage, right? It's just, you hang on to that and then the circulation starts again and it brings fresh blood and oxygen into your knees. Okay, so feet a little wider. So external rotations here. I just want to warm up pretty well today. And the other way. And now, so we're going to make circles around our knees. So I'm not moving my hands. I'm kind of just doing this from my body, right? So I'm just sinking down. It's not this. I'm just dragging my hands over my knees. Moving from my waist. And the other way. Bringing some love and the healing palms onto my knees. Warming them up. Also warming up your low back by doing this. Hands on your low back, hip circles. Maybe you can hear me counting under my breath. I can bring myself to count. I don't get carried away. Because I do this stuff for a long time sometimes. Just these movements. 5 minutes in each direction makes a difference. It really starts to open things up when you spend time and go slow and allow yourself to feel and go softly through those places where the tension is what keeps us from being able to mobilize our chi, right? That's what keeps us from expanding our energy. Those places where we're stiff is holding on to stagnant energy generally, and we need to gently let go of them. And you can't really push through them. They tend to hold on harder and get stronger when we try to push through them. Oh, I know that's more than 12 in that direction, but it was feeling good. What can I do? I hope it was feeling good for you too. Okay, so bring your hands up, point your fingers, bring your feet together, and make circles like this, stretching up. Good for balance. Stretches everything. Gives you an idea of where you're tight. And reverse. Reaching up. Chin down. Hands your sacrum. Fingers point down. So put your hands flat on your sacrum and let your elbows be heavy here. And the shoulders heavy. Feet hip distance. Make sure your knees are not locked. Just let the weight of your head do this. And now lifting your chin, and just gently seeing if you can lift the back of your neck. So stretching the back of your neck up now and the front of your neck. So don't just crunch the back of your neck in order to stretch the front of your neck. And you can move your elbows a little bit here. See what's going on in your shoulders. Take a couple of breaths. Gently, soft. Don't find any tension in your face. Let go of it. Soften. Your lips. Blow out your lips. Bring your head back to neutral. So right ear to the right shoulder, looking up. Find a place where there's tension again. Make sure your knees aren't locked. Your shoulders can move. Shoulders can move. See if you can move your neck. So really gently, don't crank it around. Gentle neck movements. Bring your head up to neutral. And now to the other side. Oh, I feel a lot of tension here today. So your shoulders, check in, the shoulders are soft, and then try to find some freedom, right? So that you're not too tight here. You just want things to let go. You don't want to try to pull them apart. So now drop your chin, and we're going to roll our head to the left slowly. Shoulder to the back. Keep it rolling slow. Find the tension. Release the shoulders down to the front. One more. So just using the weight of your head, go slow to the shoulder, back, shoulder, front, reverse, shoulder, back, shoulder, front, one more, shoulder, back, shoulder, front, elbows loose. So pushing down into the balls of your feet. So find that place between your big toe and your first toe, right? And try it all the way, follow it all the way up to where those bones come together. And from there, I want you to push down into the floor. So not really from the ball of your foot, not really from kidney 1 acupuncture point, but from that point, liver 3, on the top of your foot, imagine that there's a nail through there, which doesn't mean that you push down hard, it means that you feel through your foot, right? And allow your knees to bend. And allow this point's right here at the very top of the V in your groins, right? Which is liver 12. You want to connect these points to those points in your foot. And feel that energy. So this allows your hips to move like this, and the tailbone is neutral, so that we're going to stand like this. Now the elbows, see, so as the elbows come forward, pushes my tailbone slightly down and in, but lengthens my low back. I can stretch my back, but I'm not rounding, coming into a hunch. So I'm still lengthening. I'm lengthening. I want C7 up, and I want to lift through the top of my head. As I just gently, so I'm not yanking my elbows forward. I'm just noticing that you get that traction when they come forward a little, and then when they come back, right, you can squeeze your shoulder blades together a little bit. And here you push the tailbones kind of under, but you don't push it really under, right? Because you want to keep the inguinal crease, that crease that keeps you soft here. So it's just suggesting here, lengthening, and then keeping the length and stretching the spine. So here, when the elbows move forward, so this is really gentle. You're trying to open the space between the vertebrae, but you don't want to pull on it because it'll pull back. You want to try to just suggest that it opens. Lengthen. Keep the length. Chin slightly tucked as you lift and stretch your spine, and then lengthen your spine, soften your low back, and then inhale, pull your elbows together, shoulder blades together. So this is very gentle work in the upper thoracic, because you're dealing with your shoulder blades. You're connecting your shoulders to your shoulder blades. Because a lot of our shoulders, end at this joint up here, and we don't realize that the shoulders connect all the way down our back, pulling the spine long. The top of the head is moving up. The chin is not bouncing around. The chin stays level. The legs straighten as the elbows come forward. The legs bend more as the elbows come back. Inhaling, exhale. exhale, gently loosening your spine. Inhaling, exhaling. Okay, good. Bring your shoulders up to your ears. So I do this a lot, right? So they're hanging from the shoulders. They're not hanging from, I'm not moving my elbows like this, right? I'm moving my arms from the shoulders. So I'm swinging my arms from the shoulders. I have no neck. I'm pulling up here, pulling my groins long. Elbows don't have to bend. You can make circles. So point your fingers and make circles and see what happens. Keeping the shoulders up to your ears, smiling, no tension in your face. Make sure your chin is level and not like this or like this. But you want to be able to, you can move your head a little bit and see if it works. Smiling, holding on to that tension. We created all that tension. If there's a lot of tension there, that's your tension. You own it. You created it. You made it. You can keep pulling your shoulders up to lengthen your low back. You can feel how pulling your tailbone down, pulling your shoulders up creates space in your low back and the back on your sides, lengthening the tissues on your sides. Go the other way again. Keep them up there. I know this is tough for a lot of people, but it's going to feel so good when we go and release it. Feel this freedom now. And pull them up again. Yes. So arm swings with your shoulders up to your ears, chin level. So you have no neck. You have no neck. Okay, so now tilt your, bend here, right? Soften here, bend your knees, and now tilt your rib cage, but keep your shoulders up, both of them, and look up to the ceiling. Take a few breaths, smile. Smile at the ceiling. All right, and now the other way. So lengthen this whole side of your body. Lengthen, lengthen, and now comes forward and relax. Very good. Feel the release. Do some arm swings. So we're going to just do some regular arm swings. Feet at least shoulder distance. And here, you see I'm shifting my weight from foot to foot. Sinking down, I'm not leaning to the side. I'm allowing myself to sink down as I bend that leg. So you can take this now, you can pick up one heel, and you can take this stretch. And you can turn your head and turn this into a twist. So when I do this, and I'm pushing down into this leg, I'm twisting my whole spine around, starting from my foot. When I lift up my heel, let this feel good. So just let your arms go. Coming back. Do a couple more arm swings. So the next one, hips forward, face forward. So it's just going to be, we're just going to use our waist. So a lot of us don't have, again, my weight shifts, but my hips don't twist. So my hips are holding forward, using just my waist to swing my arms. Just let them go. Just let them go. The head stays forward. Find a point to look at. So I'm twisting around my spine now. And finally, so just swing them like this. And use your waist. Drop your hips to do this. Drop your hips. Let the dropping of the hips, this is hard for some people to coordinate. Okay. So the hands. So this is the movement. This is the movement. How do I do this? Hands down. Bottom hand comes under. Switching. So the elbows are moving out and the hands are pushing away. Inhale, lengthening my groin. Exhale. As I come forward, I'm bending my knees very slightly. Tailbone is always going towards my heels. So this calms your nervous system. So this is the start of our flowing movement. Right now it's just here. And now we're going to start to sink down and reach forward slightly. Lengthen the spine. Feel this from your shoulder blades. Feel this, how this moves through your back. Maybe it doesn't move through your back yet. But I'm not using any force. I'm not creating any tension. I'm trying to be as soft as possible. Just want to oil those joints. Oil the joints in the shoulders. Flossing, the myofascial people call it flossing the joints. But that seems to be a much more kind of vigorous, violent thing than what we're doing here. You know, I was into that, and then I realized that working directly with the tissues is not the way to open. So if you really want to open, you have to be patient and work with the energy and allow the tissues to open by allowing the joints to create space. So the more we push, then the joints push back. Interesting, huh? The joints push back and they try to hold the tension. So we can't lose tension with tension. So now make this bigger. So reaching forward, hand changes, comes close to the body, So feel how the rib cage, when your elbows go forward and your hand comes close to your body, your rib cage opens. It helps to push open your heart. Gentle movement. Gentle movement. We get a lot of freedom in our body from gentle movement. And, you know, yes, Qigong is great for older people. It's great for everybody. Because if you're an athlete, your body's filled with tension generally. When you're working on building muscle, the strength that you get from muscle is temporary. The strength that you get from letting the energy flow. You don't use your own strength. You don't use your energy. You just borrow the endless, infinite energy that surrounds us. So this is so far really simple, right? Okay, so now take this hand and pull it back. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see this. And so the elbow comes back and my waist is turning. My knees are staying forward. But I'm stretching between here and here. So from the side. Hands change the same way. From the back. So come back to here. And now we're going to sink down, reach forward. So pushing forward. We're going to get more of a spinal wave now. So feel yourself sinking down. The pressure is still primarily under the balls of your feet. Don't sink into your heels. Allow the weight to be under the balls of your feet. Okay, come back and shake it out a little bit. Foot, kick it out, turn it around, step back, sink back, bend the back leg, let the front leg be long, but your hips are still forward, push forward, pull that other foot up, so reach up, push out, bring that foot back, balancing, step back, sink back into that leg, push forward, bring your other foot up, pushing out for balance, out with your legs, reaching back with your foot, sinking. This leg is relatively straight, sinking, bending that back knee and then shifting forward. So not coming up and going forward, but shifting directly forward, trying to keep your hips level, I know. And then drag, it's the same level, drag your foot up. This side, pushing out. Stepping back, challenging your balance. Sitting back. Gliding forward. Staying low, pulling your other foot up. Standing up. Kicking out. Opening. Balancing. Stepping back. Back onto that back leg and pushing forward. So pushing this knee is pushing this knee forward. This is opening. This is balancing you apart. Up, out, balance, sinking back. Pushing forward. Up, out, back. Pulling it up, out. Sitting back. Forward, pushing out, opening, kind of a modified crane. Pushing out, back. Gliding forward, opening up the legs. Come into this Wuji stance. And just allow our, knees are slightly bent. Make sure your weight's towards the balls of your feet. Make sure your shoulders aren't up and back like that. That's tension. Soft. Shoulders down to the sides. Not forward, not slumping, down to the sides. Chin level. Back of the neck long. Arms loose. Elbows. A little bit of energy in your elbows. So again, extending the joints. So how do we create movement in Qigong? If I do this, you can see this is not, I'm not using energy here. Maybe you can see, right? But if I do this, I'm not engaging muscles. I'm just using the extension in the joints. Really allowing the joints to extend. So how do I do that? I'm extending my fingers to the floor, letting them drag forward, and then my elbows picking up. My hands only up to about my shoulders right now. And coming down. So, sinking down, pushing into the floor. And my knees are slightly bending. My inguinal area, my tailbone is moving down. So it doesn't move under. You can see that this creates, you can't move from here. You can't move this. What we want to do is very slowly, because we're all so tight in here. We want to be able to stretch this from here to here so that we can get internal and external rotation of the legs. So this is very soft in the inguinal area, and then the energy can move up from the floor and go back down into the earth. So up and down. So now we're going to go extending, extending, extending. So we're not going to extend into a place where there's tension, but here you can keep extending. You can keep extending from the back of your body. Notice that if you're here, there's still room to do that, right? Without that, but just pulling my shoulder blades away from my spine creates more space. So lifting up, letting my hands pull forward, reaching up, extending to the corners. So this might create more tension in your shoulders than if you go to the corners, right? Here you can see, for some of us it's okay, but here is more natural. So right now we're going to go to the corners. It's better anyway for this movement. Right? And now they're going to continue to pull forward, bend the knees, and you're going to come down. So you allow the upper back, the upper thoracic to curve. The spine is still long. No tension in your head. Put your left wrist behind your right wrist, and let the hands come. As you stand up, let the hands come close to your body and keep lifting your elbows. And the hands come up after the elbows. And then you reach out, stretching forward. So there's traction here. As you start to turn, the tailbone starts to pull towards the earth as your elbows pull up. There's traction between your elbows and your tailbone to lift your hands, extending out to the sides. Traction between your elbows and your tailbone. Lifting, extending, lifting, extending. So in Western physical terms, the elbow, the fascial line connects at the elbow, and it's much more efficient for you to work from your elbows to connect the fascia and stretch the fascia and be able to change the fascia than it is from just lifting your hand. So gently, make this feel good. Feel that wave come up your spine as the vertebrae open one at a time, maybe. Eventually, elbows up, elbows up. So now come like this, and then we're going to come down to one side and lift up that side. Reach apart with and come down. And so if the wave of energy comes from your tailbone to your elbow, it lifts you up and reach as the other hand comes up. And we're going to come down and lift up. And let this energy flow like that. Lifting, reaching. Oh. Hands fly away from each other. Spinal wave. Spinal wave to your elbows. And reaching up. To a forward bend. And grab your elbows and gently just hang. Move your hips from side to side. Bend one knee, straighten the other. Let your hands drop and slowly roll up. Stand with your feet fairly wide. So we're going to turn. Hand's going to raise up and push out. And the weight's going to go back over this back foot. And as we turn, this other hand is going to come back and push. Turning. Feet stay forward. So as this hand reaches its apex, this other hand, right, comes here. And you can see that if I do this like this, anyway. You get the idea. So you can see that I'm shifting, I'm sinking into this leg. Inhaling the hand up my back and twisting. Inhaling the hand up my back and twisting so the elbow gets up here and turns. And the elbow comes up. So trying to get your elbow up. And then the hand comes over the top. So all of those joints are working. The elbow joint's working, the shoulder joint's working. Sinking down into this leg that you're pushing against. So the hand's going that way, so this energy is going down this way. Coming back. Ball. Lifting the ball up. Reaching the ball up, reaching the ball up. Elbows are still bent. Elbows are still bent. Elbows are still bent. Coming forward. And now just drop your elbows. Pull the ball up. Fingers soft. Reaching up and forward, sinking down. Lifting up. Reaching up. Flowing into this, flowing. Trying to keep that elbow from, you don't straighten until the end, and then you can slowly come down. Lift up, the hands are soft. And reverse, so lifting up, reaching up, and now just let your elbows bend. And gravity will take your hands down. There's a wave coming from my elbows are bending, my armpits are closing, my hands are being pulled down, and then they allow to drop. So reaching up and out, lifting, and dropping. Soft fingers, still connected. If I move back, you can see my hands the whole time. Reaching up. Just like I'm going to fold into a puddle on the floor. Everything just kind of comes down with gravity. And reaching forward and doing it again. Make it feel good. And we're already running out of time. We're going to do one more. Sorry about that. But anyway, we'll do one more. So we haven't done teacups. And, you know, I haven't done it in a while. So we're going to start with the hand, serving tea, balancing plates, whatever you want to call this. The hand comes out and around, the palm stays flat, comes behind the head, turns over the shoulder. This really works the shoulder and comes underneath. Can you see that? It comes around, it stays flat, the elbow bends and it comes up underneath the armpit and goes out and stays flat. And I know it helps if I turn around. Out there. You can challenge this more by doing it in a wider stance. If you need that challenge, sinking down, to reach out. For some people, just doing the arm is enough challenge. Not creating more tension in your neck. Working the arm through its whole range of motion here. You got it? Okay, so now we're going to do this side. Good, I'm going to turn around. The other way. So take back to the other arm. goes under and out and around. So you just try to reach as far as you can reach. Really opens up the shoulder joint, gives you strength in your hips, looseness in your waist. Other side, so under and around. And under and around, reaching back, turning around your waist as much as you possibly can and around your shoulders, trying to get as much range of motion as you can if you're open, and if you're not open, just trying to get any range of motion back in your shoulder is a good thing. Two hands. Okay, out and around. Out and around. Out. And reverse. Finally, reverse. Palms up, palms stay up. If you can, if you spill the tea, you're probably still working your shoulders pretty well. Spill the tea or drop the plates. Shake it out. Shake it out. Turn your waist. Shake. Shake it. Shake it up. Shake it up. Move it around. Shake it up. Feeling good. Thanks for joining me. I hope. Let's just take a second here and come back and put your feet together. Bend your knees. Relax, relax. Bend your knees a little. Feel like bamboo in the wind. Your body might start to sway a little bit. Just take a few breaths here. So you can feel what's going on inside. And straighten your legs, and we're going to make circles. 12 clockwise, 12 counterclockwise. Close your eyes. Feel your body. Notice if you're more relaxed, if your breath is more relaxed. So thanks for joining me. And I hope you have a great day. You can drop your hands. Thank you.